slumber too. Their presence fills the air with tune. Yet in the chaos, light may spark, even in the depths of the deepest dark. Creatures lurking in the dark unseen, silent whispers piercing in between. Some will haunt and some will guide, on land, in air, and oceans wide.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bizarre and the Unknown. I'm your host, D.D. Testerman. Man, we got a show today that is provided by Roxanne. So everybody give a shout out to Roxanne for recommending this show. And then we're going to be looking into Emily as a... Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Emily Isabella Burt, the Georgia Werewolf. And if I can get my notes to work for me because it wants to be a butt, I can get it moved where I can see the screen. But no, it wants to not do what I want it to do, of course. So, curiosity. Who in here has heard about Emily Burt? And of course, you're not doing the right thing. Okay. Move over here where I want you to be. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, she wanted me to look into this one here. So we're taking a look. And I've heard a little bit about her. I haven't looked into her a whole lot, but pretty much what I've heard is what I found. Now there's two controversial stories about this. The most popular is yes, she was a werewolf. Uh, yeah, she did. She kind of hinted a little bit at it. I was talking to her about it because she's from that area. Um, but she didn't really go into depth on it. But pretty much what I found out is what she was talking about as well. And she scared people. Um, so there is one person though that claims that she was not a werewolf. So let's hear the story, and let's try to figure this out together. Yeah, she'd probably be mean to me if she was on my live. Uh, the Georgia Werewolf begins in 1840 with Emily Isabella Burt. Apparently, Miss Burt was a resident of Talbot County, a rural county in southwest Georgia between Macon and Columbus. The Burt family, a wealthy and predominant family in Talbot County community, had several children, according to the late Nancy Roberts in her book Georgia Ghost, published by John F. Blair Publishers in 1997. There was Sarah, Mildred, Emily, and Joel. Miss Burt was widowed by the age of 37 and had inherited a nice estate from her deceased husband. Hey, Bounty. Hey, Christopher. Muchetti. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, man. Yeah, I get that feeling. I'm not old yet, but I feel it. My body's all battered up and bruised. Um, so, as some of you may know, because I've talked about this before, I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, which is the basically southeastern part of Georgia, not far from Florida. And dang, mustache is getting in my mouth. Um, apparently, I missed a hair. Um, and I can tell you, there's some weird stuff that happens down there in them swamps. Um, really weird stuff that happens down in them swamps. You be feeding it, and there is a lot of mystery, a lot of high strangeness, a lot of weirdness that goes on in them swamps down in Georgia. No, I'll trim it off again later. I hadn't shaved for like 2 weeks, so I tried to do a little bit of it earlier. And so reading this, I can kind of see where this is kind of real because, man, it's hard to explain. Unless you've been down there, you absolutely have no idea what it's like down in them swamps. Of her children, it appears that Emily Isabel was the one who with the most problems. For one, she had inherited a lot of physical traits from her father, including dark hair and bushy eyebrows. However, she was said to have had a hard. Uh, oh, she. I'm trying to read this from a distance. Um, I lost my spot. However, she was said to have had sharp white canine teeth that made her smile quite disturbing. In one report, Roberts claims that Emily's mother took her to a local dentist to see if he could um, um, he could that's awesome. The teeth could be altered in any way. He could do nothing for her. Some after soon afterwards, she fell ill and suffered from restless nights. The only thing that seemed to ally those sleepless nights was an elixir that contained opium. Otherwise, the elixir was not foolproof, and some nights Emily roamed the countryside. In addition to these strange issues, Emily had a fondness for reading, and her subject of choice was the supernatural. Given the fact that part of her mother's inheritance upon the death of her father was a vast collection of books, this affinity for reading was quite convenient. Even her mother was fond of this reading habit, as it always allowed her to keep an eye on her. As she strayed from home, she stayed at home and read in her family's library. So, in a lot of times, let me see what I missed here. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, well, I mean that swamp gas just jack your backside up too, man. I mean that swamp gas ain't nothing to play with. Yes, they do. They give off a lot of weird energies. Thank you, Carl. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of high strangeness in the swamps, man. You can when you're down in some of them swamps, and some part of it's not bad, but there's many parts of them swamps that feel very dark, very heavy, and very evil. Of course, voodoo and hoodoo has been practiced a lot in them swamps, so that could stand from it, or just something else there. But then you got mosquitoes and snakes, you got gators, and you got a whole mess of things. There's swamp ape and a whole bunch of mess of stuff that's down in there. Swamp or marsh is the monkey diagram of the Ching stands for energy. Oh, yeah. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Monisha. So, but back in these days, in the 1800s and beyond, basically your only form of entertainment was books. So a lot of homes had a massive library, and the richer you were, the more of the of books you would have. I mean, so there's homes down in some of these places that they got rooms about the size of my place. It's nothing but a library from ceiling to floor, wall to wall of books, and people read a lot back then. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it yeah. Did you? I just had jelly and biscuits. I'll cook something later on. Got a similar vibe, no matter where they at. Yeah, I mean, there's parts of that swamp, man. I can tell you, it's real beautiful, peaceful, calming, very amazing. And there's parts of that swamp. It's like, man, I need to get the hell out of here. This place ain't right. This place is dark. But so like my little library set here, this ain't counting. I got more books down in the old place. Uh, this is nothing. This would be like a poor man's library right here. Yeah, I mean, you got to think hoodoo and voodoo come from Africa. You know that's where that practices come from. Uh, Legend has it that the diary of one of Emily's sisters, William Gorman, reported to the Burts that something was killing his sheep. Fearful that this may have soon happening to her animals, Miss Mildred Burt became quite concerned. On ensuing visits, Gorman would recount stories about more sheep killings and that some of his cattle were killed as well. He was concerned about the killings and decided to take action. He reported that this was going to be put together. He was going to put together a posse basically to help track down this beast, and they intended to shoot and kill whatever beast was doing the damage. Emily was unusually interested in what was going on and what events had transpired in the hunt for this animal. So I mean that there brings you kind of some concern there. Oh, you got some autocorrecting going on there. I hate autocorrect. Me and that thing fight each other all the time, Don. Holy crap, folks! I got somewhat of sunshine going on right now. Some parts of the wild seem to attack you as you traverse the terrain. It does, yeah. The swamps are probably used a lot because the remote. No one else wants to go. Well, you got to think how easy it is to hide in a swamp. Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, many practices that weren't favored upon the community were done in swamps. People running from the law uh, would hide in the swamps. A lot of people came up missing in swamps. Like they would stumble upon something they weren't supposed to, and all of a sudden they would come up missing. The swamps is a very, very dangerous and mystical place. I get that, man. I get days like that. Of course, I'm dyslexic, so I get that every day. But yes, yes, that stuff happened a lot in swamps. Think about it. A lot of times when you go to check to find a voodoo queen, you're going deep in the swamps to find her. Especially if she's pretty powerful. She's going to be deep in them swamps, and them swamps hold magic. They really do hold it. Yeah, that's why I've got several vines. Did I miss something? Um, the swamp in my backyard saw a gator swimming around. Oh man, yeah, I seen lots of gators when I was down in Georgia and Alabama. It's very hostile outside. Yes, they are. The area I was that way before I left for the Corps in '99. When I came back, a bunch of city slickers moved in, and it changed out here. But where I live now, for the longest time, uh, you didn't see brass of any color out here. And if you was an outsider and you started trashing this area, you probably didn't leave. I know, yeah, I do that quite often. Yeah, I chicken peck, man. Most of my typing is chicken pecking. I'm starting to learn to use more than one finger. For, for years and years and years, I chicken peck. Yeah, I mean and that's that. Any swamp there is, that's always the case with Chitty. That's always the case, and so that's why you got to be really careful in these swamps. I mean, a lot of people talk about Nolans there in Louisiana and the swamps around Louisiana. The thing they don't realize, that stuff was happening in Georgia. That stuff was happening in parts of Oklahoma. That stuff was happening in parts of Texas. That stuff was happening in Florida, Georgia, Alabama. The list goes on. Anywhere there's swamps, uh, that stuff is going on. You thought you saw a mini skunk ape? Skunk apes ain't that big. When it comes to Bigfoot, skunk apes are one of the smaller ones. But I can tell you, we hear a lot about the Rougarou, and Louisiana with the Rougarou. The thing is, the Rougarou wasn't just in Louisiana. You go in parts of Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Florida, you're going to hear similar stories. They not may not be called a Rougarou, but it's the same thing. They're just called a different name. And that stuff is very, very, very steeped in the cultures in them areas, especially around them swamps. The Cajuns are big on it. Cajuns are real big on it. But the thing is, there's Cajuns in different states. It's not just Louisiana. At 65 years old, I ain't going to learn to type in. Trust me, buddy. I get it. The only reason why I'm trying to teach myself it's easier to write. People in Hollywood talk about dumping bodies in swamps for you. Oh, they still do. To this day, they still do. Yeah, they do it on movies, but I mean, that really happens. You got to think there's so much stuff in them swamps that's going to eat that body. The swamp is like the perfect dumping ground for that stuff. You got turtles, you got different kinds of fish, uh, you got crabs, you got shrimp, you got crawfish, you got um, different animals, gators. List goes on and on and on of stuff in them swamps that's going to eat a corpse. So that's why it's still, even to this day, it's still done. I'm enjoying seeing that sunlight for a change. Of course, I mean I seen it last week, but ever since Thursday, it's been gone. Um, yeah, it does. And the thing is Holly Scrooge is very big. Now, Holly Scrooge dramatizes a lot of stuff, but there is some things they talk about. Oh, hey, brother. Sorry, my chat just jumped, so I missed some here. My dad could type 100 words per minute with two fingers. I was pretty good at it. I was a good chicken picker. I'm a Cajun pirate werewolf meeting. Yeah, I almost for man, I was kicking back in my fat guy comfy chair, taking a break and getting out of this chair and away from the computer for a little bit, and I dozed off. And thank God I set an alarm. I took me a little cat nap. Yeah, I set that alarm and I heard it going off, and I didn't quite wake up to it in time. And then I finally, when I woke up, it dawned on me, oh crap, man, I got a show to do. Me hearties. Me, we's go and take over the swamps. But let's look on another one here. On On the night of the big hunt, Mildred Burt, who also had inherited more than a few guns and was a great marksman, went out with her pistol. She apparently suspected that Emily was somehow involved with the killings, and she wanted to prepare for anything. As she was near the area, an animal lunged for her, and she fired. It ran away, and interestingly enough, the next morning, some reports stated that Emily was missing her left hand, while others said that she had a gunshot wound in her left hand. So, I mean, there's two conflicting stories on that as well, and that's why I put them both in there. After being taken to the local physician, her mother decided to, uh, s- damn it, my little thing jumped. Send her to Paris to be treated by a doctor who specialized in lycanthropy, a disorder that made its victims think they were werewolves. While she was in Paris, the attacks stopped, and once she returned, supposedly cured, the attacks fell to a minimum. Now, we've covered this many times on this channel, on Jessica's channel, DA's channel, William's channel. I mean, the list goes on and on at different channels. The lycanthropy that they're talking about is a legitimate deal. I mean, it's really tied to werewolves. But we know how people like to, um, how certain agencies like to hide the truth. Hey, Tracy. So that's what's got me kind of concerned on this is that they're claiming that it was a disorder, and that kind of tells me they're trying to hide something. That's just me, myself, and I. That's my opinion, my view, my theory, hypothesis on it. That they're claiming it's a disorder to hide what it actually is. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that. Oh, I forgot. I need to take that poll down. I forgot I had it up. Come on. There it goes. So 88% of you believe that she truly was a werewolf. Cute. You voted yes. Heck yeah, I believe she was too. Honestly, I believe she was too. What's that? Oh, I must have clicked something by mistake. So 89% said yes, you believe she's a werewolf, and 10% of you don't believe she was. That's fair. That is perfectly fair. Let me pull my notes back up here. So, given the fact that they're calling this lycanthropy a disorder, like I said, is what really brings concern because I'm a firm believer that lycanthropy is real. Just because of the black or the dark arts that's used to create werewolves, I believe personally it's a curse that can be passed down. So a lot of legends will tell you that sometimes you're cursed with it by somebody that's trying to get even with you. Sometimes you get it by being attacked by one, and there's also instances where it can be passed down from one generation to the next. That is true because that is a case. There is cases of people being extremely hairy, and that's why they made good money being in the side of the road freak shows. Back in the several years ago, they would have roadside freak shows or their freak shows and carnivals, and people like that was who they sought because it brought in money. And I mean, it's pretty bad. You got to do something like that because you can't get another job. Stand there and let people make fun of you and throw shit at you and treat you like crap because you look different. Um, but it's true. She actually was. Yes, they come from Paris. Yep. So some of the reports will tell you when she went over to Paris, they went over to see family because they still had family in Paris. And then the other reports is that she went over there to see this doctor. Now, that's two conflicting reports on that. which very good theory that I heard that I'd say was probably accurate is they used the excuse to see the family to go see the doctor about this lycanthropy. What's really interesting is while she was gone, the attacks had stopped, but when she came back, they continued. Although far less than what they were before, they had continued. So it makes me wonder if it ain't like a family curse and they've all got it. And she went over there and got some training, or she did see a doctor to try to help her with it. Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people did that stuff, Don. A lot of it because of that, but it's still a shit way. You get made fun of, and people mock you and stuff like that because you look different than they do. And that's wrong. But I mean, it's the truth, and it still goes on to this day. Not near as bad as it used to, but to this day, there's still that stuff still goes on. Um, you got the bearded ladies and the wolf boys and wolf men and wolf women, and I mean, the list goes on and on. The world's tallest man, and I mean, there's so many stuff that these people do. I used to bark for the yak lady, nice lady, hell of a cook. Shame she had horns out of her head. Oops, hit the wrong one. That's true, Don. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I'd probably have to be the same way. I hate to say it, but yeah, I would probably have to be the same way. I'd get my last laugh while collecting their dime, and I'm the type of guy to be standing there going, "Yeah, you guys are paying just to make fun of me. So, hey, who works for who? who who's the bigger freak in this? The guy's paying to see me, or the guy standing here getting paid so you can look at me?" That's just me. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's in there. Yeah. Um, Now, oh, I'll get into her in a minute. Emily remained in Talbot County until she died in 1911. She was 70 years old and is buried in the Owens and Holmes Cemetery near Woodland. Her story has endured, but not everyone is convinced this legend is true. Is it your second or your 20th? And the Southeastern Institute of Paranormal Research has done some looking into the story. In a report on their website, the forum moderator, only identified as Denise, filed a report on the legend claiming that this was false. Her post in on this website in her report says that there is no evidence to corroborate the Emily Isabella Burt was a werewolf. At the same time, she provided no evidence to suggest that she wasn't. That's the thing is she's claiming that this story ain't true, but she absolutely produced zero evidence to back her theory up. Where the other theory has a lot of evidence, it's just that Emily was a werewolf. So that's why I find it entertaining. Is she trying to hide this, or is she trying to get a name for herself? And that's why she claimed this because she wants to be different than everybody else. I don't know. I'm not her. I haven't talked to her, so I don't know what it is. I don't know if we'd ever know the truth. Wait, you sure that was the second or Eric in your head? Do not shave. It's not worth shaving. Let it grow. Let it grow. uh, she and her group have adopted the cemetery in which Emily was buried or is buried, and have pictures on their website of the location. Her report mentions that the memorial marker to her mention to her mentions that she was well known and well liked in her community. Certainly not the thing said about someone who was a Pyrie of sorts, a beast. Beard power. When my hair grows, we unite and become beard power. Weirdness with the beardness. Um, hey, freaky. Long hair don't care. Um, Denise reports that newspaper reports from that time claim that the attacks were a result of a rabid wild animal and nothing more, which we all know that is something that people will say to hide things. So going off of the paper is not necessarily a way to prove something exists or doesn't exist because things can be factual on both sides of the plane, not just one. So the fact that they called it a rabid beast absolutely does not mean anything because let's face it, the Burke family was very rich, so they could have easily said, "I don't want this in the paper," and it got this is what it is, or because of what happened, they all decided to come together and say this is what it is. That's definitely possible. Your beard's kind of fluffy. I'm just seeing what I missed here. I have not shaved or cut my hair in 1 year. I never shave. Man, I went 2 weeks without a shave, and you guys can barely tell I didn't do it. That is as much hair as I've had since I was 16. I don't grow hair. My mustache is dripping coffee on the shape on a cigarette. Oh, wax it. Oh no. Oh, that hurt. I'm good. Nah, I ain't gonna do the waxing. Ooh. Uh, she also mentions that the Paris trip was to see relatives and friends there, not to see a doctor who treated lycanthropy. So you're seeing where that's coming from on that. I don't think any of them shave, even if they're French or not, William. I don't think any werewolf shaves until they shed their skin the following morning, their hair the following morning. But I could be wrong because French women are known not to shave. But some question these conclusions. One of the Burt relatives, an English professor who teaches at the local community college in Atlanta, says that it is possible that the Paris trip was to see the doctor for her condition. He commented that it is quite likely the family would have said that Isabella was visiting family for the most, for they most certainly would not have let it out that she was seeing a doctor. For there would be a lot of questions as to why she could not be treated here. A trip across the Atlantic to see a physician would breed questions, and that's a very valid point, and that's kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier. Many of us are here for the pup and the stories, not to check out her beauty. We're not talking about mine. We're talking about Roxanne's. You missed out, Freaky. We're talking about Roxanne's, but I can't do that. Nope. I couldn't do it. Sadly enough, I recall an incident just like that when I was a pup. I waxed my brown eyes once by myself instead of beautician. Well, I use eyebrow or I was eyebrowless. Oh God. Hey Caleb, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, bro? Been kind of worried about you. I was trying to find your YouTube deal. If you wouldn't mind, put that up in the chat because I was wanting to add. Oh, speaking of which, Roxanne, daggone it, I forgot to tell you. I got brown dwarf stuff. I finally remembered to put it up. Let me see if it works. Then this goes for you too, William. Let me see if I can get it to work. There you go. Yeah. So brown dwarf stuff is now in here. It's that little sign BD for brown dwarf or Bigfoot dwarf. Sorry, Bigfoot dwarf, which has all his stuff here. I finally got around last night and putting that in. So that's the new code for you, William, and Corey for um, Bigfoot dwarfs. Need to get. I was trying to find Caleb's page so I can add his too, but I couldn't find it. I seen him with was it Maxine? I thought you said someone waxed their brown eyebrow. Yeah, no. Um, okay, yeah, it did. It came up in a two-part series. Okay, but yeah, Caleb, if you could just put your YouTube thing up in there, and I'll have to save it so I can add it to my deal as well, so I can support you and try to get some people over to your page as well. But so back to this thing here, and that's I agree with that they're going to hide it, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. This stuff for the prominent families, politicians, people with money and power, even back in them days, wanted to keep things out of the limelight. So they would lie about something or cover it up or keep it hush hush because they didn't want to bring, because they would lose their status. As people found out, hey, your kid's a werewolf and is unaliving livestock. Do you really think she would, hey, Monica, you really think they would be having the income coming in that they did? Man, they'd be outcasted in a heartbeat. All good, Christopher. All good. Is there? What's it doing, Monica? Yeah, and then it did the same thing to me, William. And I had to look that up the other night, and I went, "Holy crap!" It did it to me again. Yeah, that was really popular in the '80s. I remember that, Roxanne. People in the '80s did that a lot. '80s and early '90s. I think it's somewhere around mid '90s. They kind of, for the most part, hey Joanne, kind of stopped doing that. Ooh, yeah, I remember you talking about that earlier. You ain't felt well since you got that smoke down from Canada. Hey Juno, um, that's very common too, and saying tattooed as well. I know people that's tattooed them on there because of the very same thing. Even when they grew hair back, they didn't grow it like in their eyebrows, didn't grow it near as much as they used to, and so they were known to. I've known people that tattooed their eyebrows on there. That way, when they grew back out, they looked a lot fuller, a lot more fuller than what it actually was. So on this, I'm kind of curious. You guys, the 10% that didn't think she's a werewolf, are you guys? Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I need to write that down real quick before I forget because I know my brain. I need to. I might be able to add it while I'm on here. Dot YouTube. Caleb Jade. Okay. You guys make sure you give Caleb a follow. Is it? Hey, let me. I had the other deal up so I can do that polling. We'll see if that fixes it. I closed it out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going there. It is, man. And it seems like I don't know why. It's probably because I've been so exhausted and stressed. My memory lately has been even worse. Trust me, I have no problems with my phone. Heck yeah, man. No, I have not heard from Urso. I was thinking about that as well. Um, yeah, I haven't heard from Urso either, and I'm hoping it's because he's doing the Father's Day thing. Which there's nobody here today, so it's just me, myself, and I. And my youngest daughter is the only one of my daughters that texted me Happy Father's Day. She's out spending some time with a friend. She's 18 and wanting to be your own. So, yeah, she texted me early this morning about it. But I'll get. Oh, that reminds me. That's what I was wanting to do. Let me pop that up real quick because I go into another screen. I could try to make a command while I'm on here, while I'm waiting on that to load. Get back to my chat here. Try to get one for. We'll probably make yours CJ. Yeah, I am unsupervised. I am very unsupervised. Help me. Where's an adult? I need an adult. Oh, thank you, Monica. I appreciate that. So, toga, toga, toga. I have no adult supervision. Toga. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I'm thinking about here in a little bit. I want to make some chopped up bacon and some hamburger. And I'm going to stuff them in a corn, stuff it in some cornbread. If I can figure out how to pull it out the correct way, I'm hoping to be able to have it all in the middle while it cooked. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I'm glad she's out and enjoying herself. I worry to death about her. I just still worry about my oldest daughter too. Dude, oh man, it's been pouring like crazy out here. It has really been pouring like crazy. It's finally came out, and I've got a little bit of sunlight coming out. That's why I don't have my lights on. I'm trying to enjoy the sunlight. So so is there anything to this legend? And that's what I want to kind of look into. Uh, Earlier I had up, do you believe she was a werewolf or not? And ev- um, 89% of you said yes, 10% of you said no. So let's take a look. The story has shown up in a good many books on the supernatural strange in Georgia, as mentioned earlier. Nancy Roberts wrote it in her book Georgia Ghost. It also appears in Jim Miles' Weird Georgia, as well as Dr. Alan Brown's Haunted Georgia. And I'm sure there's going to be more than just those books. Uh, my question was: Emily Isabella a lycanthrope? And were the stories told all true? So, for those of you who just came in and didn't get a chance to get that poll, I want to hear from you guys too. Do you think, after hearing this stuff, that Emily Burt was a werewolf? And I can tell you, I personally do. um, where's the squirrel pirates arg? You think she was? Yes. Arr, matey. The bounty thinks she was. Um, I honestly, I do too. I really think she was a werewolf. Now, I think it was passed down to her, and the fact that they're hinting how much she looks like her dad, which suggests to me that it was probably passed down, that her dad probably had it. What do you guys feel on that? Do you think it was passed down, or do you think that she was just cursed with it? Yep. And I asked Jessica the same question yesterday, and in a minute I'll tell you what she thinks too. Um, and I can tell you, Jessica thinks that she was a werewolf as well. I really do. A lot of the stuff fits it. Now, I can play devil's advocate, and yes, there's always a possibility that this was drummed up for clickbait, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. That is exactly what I'm thinking too. Just because of how the legend is told that she born resembling her father, and she had bushy eyebrows and long hey Robin and long canine like teeth. That to me is a good hint that the curse was probably on her father and then was passed down to her. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm looking at it when I'm looking at the story. Oh, you're welcome, my devil dog brother. Semper Fi. Curse could be related to one of the morning blood like Inky. It could be. It absolutely could be. And we know. I mean, in them spots, you got to think hoodoo and voodoo was very prominent in them spots, and her dad could have pissed off a voodoo priestess and had been cursed. That is another thing there too, Roxanne. That is a very good valid point. Hey, David, that is a very good valid point right there. The fact that she took walks late at night, and the fact that all this livestock unaliving that happened while she was there. And when she started growing the canines and becoming more prominent, and then all of a sudden she was getting where she couldn't sleep at night. All that leads up to the reason why I believe she was a legitimate werewolf. So the other side of the story, um, was the explanation that Diane Denise of SIPR valid? Is there anybody still believes that what Denise said was true, that she wasn't and it was all made up? And I'll be honest with you, it's like I said earlier, I didn't find Denise's evidence credible because she had nothing to back it up. All she had was her opinion. And we all know what opinions are. That's a very valid point right there, Roxanne. Absolutely. Her mother did not want her to take those walks. And if I remember right, her mother followed her. I don't think she followed her. And mother saw something get attacked. Her mother was attacked by something, and then she shot it in the left hand. When she got home, she found a figure on her porch. She drew a pistol, and when she got closer, she realized it was Emily, and Emily was hunched over at hurt, and that's when she found out she had a gunshot to her left hand. We had a werewolf boy living in an Amish community, rural area back in the 70s. No kidding. That is definitely a story I want to hear about. I agree, Bounty. I absolutely agree. Tanya, I have too. I have too, but I've been unalive in livestock when I did it. Okay, sleepwalking is actually a good point. I know you're pointing it at Tanya, but sleepwalking is a good point. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they were out on the hunt and didn't see anything happen. Emily was very curious about the hunt and what was going on and stuff like that. And then when something rustled in the bushes and she stopped and took attention to it, it came out and lunged out at her and she shot and fired and it ran off into the bushes. And when she got home, she found her daughter curled up on the porch in pain because she had a gunshot to her left hand. Now, some stories will tell you she got her left hand blown off. Most of the stories tell you that she had a gunshot wound to the left hand. So I'm leaning more towards that. That is, well, no, normally, well, yeah, I can kind of see that because that's when all the changes come in women and or and the boys and girls when they get of that age. That's usually when you see something manifest. I could see that. Yeah, yeah. That's probably most likely what happened, Freaky. I would say you're probably hitting the nail on the head pretty good on that one. But I'm kind of convinced that it was her father's side of the family that carried this lycanthropy curse. Oh, can you imagine a werewolf on menopause? Oh my god, that would be horrible. Um, you guys, men suffer from PMS too. Did you guys know that? Yeah, men actually suffer from PMS too. It's called parked motorcycle syndrome, which is what I'm suffering with right now. Yeah. What? Where are you at? Well, yeah. Here, sit down on my lap here. There you go. You're so needy these last couple days. Why do you got to be in my lap all the time, huh? Yeah. You want to say hi to everybody? Okay. Come up here and say hi to everybody. Yeah. There you go. Get up there to your little spot. So bushy birds made nest in the but so yeah, I mean, just it's a lot of interesting stuff happened. So I mean, so the next question was a trip to Paris to see a doctor or relatives? I kind of think it's a little bit of both myself. Yeah. Yeah, PMS, man, park motorcycle syndrome. You're up there, so why are you still meowing with your broken meower? Is that called a midlife crisis, Roxanne? Um, hell yeah. But so I really think, my opinion again, that the Paris trip actually happened, and she did go to see a doctor, and I think her family was behind it. And there's probably m- more so for training her how to control it. I really think that's what that trip was because I don't think her mother had to curse. What the hell? Okay, um, I know my dog Boar is in here, and I literally just seen a black dog go through the tall grass out in my yard. It disappeared like quick. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, it was because I paused because I seen something out of the corner of my eye and I thought it was my dog, but I know my dog's in here. Why? No, because you're going to get on the keyboard. Well, don't get on the keyboard. Okay, well, curl up there and take a nap. But I'm going to be moving my hand a lot. Yeah, you're better off right here. Yeah, right there. You can curl up right there and you'll be just fine. Uh, yeah, no, seriously. Out of the corner of my eye, I literally seen what looked like the back end of a black dog with the tail stuck up in the air. And it literally disappeared. That's why I watched for a minute. I didn't see it go anywhere else in my grass. I just seen it for a split second out of the corner of my eye. No, no, no. No, I seen something out of the corner of my eye. What? Well, bub, I can't. Well, there. You happy? It's hard to do things one handed. You know that? That's why I was trying to keep you in my lap. You're so needy. I, it, honestly, it looked like my dog. It looked exactly like my dog. But my dog's laying behind me. Yeah. But the thing was, if it was an actual dog, where'd it go? Because I didn't see it go nowhere. That's why I stopped and was looking out there for a little bit. Good, good point, William. Yeah. Um, Calypso would have been more that shape, and she was black. My Cane Corso, Calypso, she was black and built that way. That's a good point. She may be patrolling the woods still, or the property still. But yeah, she would have been about that built too. Yeah, that built that height. That's a very good point, bro. That's the second time I've seen something weird out of the corner of my eye, but that was the first time I seen something look like a dog. The first thing was something flying through the air that vanished. I'm still taking a glance out. I still don't see anything out there. Little mouthy thing here. Hey, Ike, a little mouthy thing here has to be curled up and held. Otherwise, he just sits there meow 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 meow. I believe they do. I really believe they do, Freaky. She may still be patrolling the property. She was very good about she would patrol the property 2 to 3 times a day, up until I would come home, and then once I came home, um, she she was stuck at my side. At night, she always slept with me, but she would get up a couple times a night, go in and check on the girls when they were here. And once she was satisfied the girls were safe, she'd crawl back in bed. Yeah, but she always laid where she can jump out of the bed and go to the disturbance pretty quick. She was very protective. I rescued her from a bunch of crackheads when she was barely clinging to life when she was 5 months old, and I mean truly crackheads. What, buddy? I'm giving you what you want, and you're making this difficult on me. Yeah, I know. Curl up here and go to sleep. That's what you want to do. You just got to be held all the time. You can't stand not having somebody touching you and holding you. You're spoiled rotten. You know that? Oh, thank you, Joanne. Yeah, I need to find homes for these guys, but I have a hard time. I try my best not to get attached to them because I know what would happen if I get attached, but I have a hard time not doing it. This one here all weekend. Hey, Jessica, we were just finishing up about the about Emily Burt. My next question is, I kind of want one that what? Don't you start too? Well, it's just a broom. It's just a broom. It ain't gonna. I wouldn't climb up there. It's gonna fall on you. Do what you want. You'll learn the hard way. Um, haven't really given her a name. So yeah, I haven't really given it a name. Top of the hour. Okay, thanks, Roxanne. Give me a second. We'll play some Dark Angel Medical here in a second. There are two UFOs hovering over this area at night. One to the east and one to the southwest. I will try to post the pictures. Oh heck yeah, Caleb. Definitely, definitely do that. Yeah, she's buried at the Owens and Home Cemetery. And I was talking just a minute ago about the Diane Denise that wrote the article saying that everything said about her was untrue. But my point is, everything she talked about, she has no evidence to back it up whatsoever. Like zero evidence at all to support her theory. Um, my daughter calls him. Oh my God. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. What is that little creature's name? Dobby. Um, she calls him Dobby, which I can see it with the ears and the eyes. They have been here for a few weeks. One of them showed up about a week and a half ago. Interesting, Caleb. Yeah, that's my biggest problem, Joanne. That's why I'm trying not to name them. All right, being it's top of the hour, let's get some. Nope, her family doesn't want anyone going to her grave. By the way, we haven't visited out of respect for. Appreciate that. I really appreciate that, and that's something we have to take into consideration. And I can see why because of everything that's being told about her. Hey, Urso, we were just talking about you. How you been, man? No worries. I'm just glad to see you're in here and okay, bro. Um, Roxanne, let's get some Dark Angel Medical up. Let's get that top of the hour done, and I'll get back to the comments right after. If you're looking for the best trauma kits and first aid kits on the market, look no further than Dark Angel Medical. Kerry Pocket Doc Davis is the godfather of Kit for Life. If you use the kit to save someone's life, he absolutely replaces what you use for free. His medicine has a 2 year shelf life, and he does replace that medicine after 2 years. No cost, if memory serves me correctly. If you have FSA or HSA, you can use that to buy these kits. Now, I know these kits are expensive. You pay for what you get, and they absolutely are the very best. That is why I asked him to be able to sponsor his product on my channel with no cost, and that's why I buy his product. And I can afford to pay for it outright, just like most people can't. Times are rough right now. I use Sizzle. Sizzle, if I remember, it's like 4 payments and it's free. And I have two kits. I have one that was shown in here that I take out in the field with me. The other one is called a headrest kit, and it sits on the headrest of my truck. So you can use Sizzle to buy that as well. Use DA's code Crypto20 for 20% off. If you're looking for some training, he does provide training. He also puts little small training classes on YouTube as Dark Angel Medical 5115 and Instagram at Dark Angel Medical. Go over there, subscribe, tell him I said hi, and his videos are extremely informational and educational. I highly, highly, highly recommend buying his kits and watching his first aid videos. I'm cool. I got up really early and played back down or laid back down and slept through it. Oh, no worries, man. I'm just glad you're okay, man. Dude, they hands down, Joanne, there's a reason why I asked him is because his kits are the absolute extreme best. Let me make sure I didn't miss no comments up here real quick. I just remembered that. Okay. Let me get back down here. I also have a large mysterious bruise on my left side. Oh, ribcage that showed up a week ago. I didn't fall or have any memory of what happened. No, I'm not crazy. Oh, wow, Caleb. I mean, I've had dreams, realistic dreams, where stuff has happened to me in my sleep. And I woke up and, like, where I've been shot or stabbed or scratched, I would have marks on my body right where that was in my dream. And some places I can't reach with my own hands. No worries, man. No worries at all. Bite your toe. I ain't biting your toe. I like the fact that he has videos training. Yes, absolutely, Joanne. 100%. I love watching his videos. Hands down, I love watching his videos. Yeah, Bobby. Oh, it's the wrong one. Sorry. When one of our family isn't around, we worry. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. I've been kind of worried about you and Caleb and oh my gosh, my brain farted. There's been a few of them been kind of worried about here lately. Huh? So I believe that we probably need to do some more research on this topic. So there is many books that you can get into. And my opinion may change on this, but I'm pretty convinced after reading this stuff that she absolutely was a werewolf. And but I do. I think there needs to be more research into this and to see kind of trace back because I want to see if my theory is right. I really, really, really do believe that this was passed down and from her father's side, just by what it said. Let me get back to it. Okay. Uh, she had inherited a lot of her father's physical traits, including dark hair and bushy eyebrows. And she's said to have sharp white canine teeth. So, I mean, a lot of that, Ozzy Sue has been, and I know she's been sick lately, but yes, she's another. She was in, I think, my chat last week, or she might have been in yours. I can't remember if she was in yours or mine last week. Um, but that stuff right there would make you consider that, for one, it was passed down, and probably on her father's side, if it was passed down. Um, well, I think her mom did know it, and that's why she was trying to hide it, Roxanne. I really think her mom was trying to hide it, and that's why she went to her family in Paris. All of us. I think somebody mentioned once that we were meant to all meet here. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Um, yes, yes, that's a good point. But I believe her mom. I mean, you guys let me know in the chat what you think. But I think her mom 100% knew about it, and I'm pretty close. I'm pretty convinced um, that she went to Paris to get training how to control it. Because the simple fact, the key word is while she was gone, the mutilation stopped. And then when she came back, they were at a minimal, which tells me she was over there getting training on how to control it. Could be wrong. That's my opinion, my theory, my hypothesis. Absolutely. Absolutely. So she didn't follow her. She was out hunting with the party and something attacked her and she shot. And then when she got back home and seen Emily on the porch with their left hand being shot up, she had a feeling. She had a very strong feeling that it was her. That's why she was trying to hide lot of what was going on from her. But Emily was very pushy about figuring this information out. And she found out. And then the next thing you know, this happens. And she shoots that beast that attacks her. And she gets home to find out that Emily had been shot in the left hand. Yeah. So um, that all kind of, and I think that was probably when she found her with a gunshot in her left hand. I think that was the icing on the cake. Going, holy crap! It was passed down to her. A good possibility. Her mom was probably in denial, didn't want to believe it, thinking that like a lot of parents do. If I don't believe it, I don't acknowledge it. It don't exist. And I think after that, she was attacked by that creature and she shot it and it ran off. And then she found her daughter on the porch with a gunshot in the left hand, was the nail in the coffin going, crap, I can't ignore this no more. And then next thing you know, she's being rushed to Paris to see a doctor. Come on. Too many coincidences there. Yeah, you got to allow her. I knew the possibility of her being affected and watched and hoping that, yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. She knew the village folk wouldn't approve to help and get help else. Absolutely. I can see that. Yeah. Um, yeah, I can see that, Bounty. I really can see that. And if you notice in a lot of cases like this, especially, I mean, it happens to even to this day, but you don't hear about it as much today as you used to. And that stuff was very prominent back then. It was like I was talking about earlier. When you come from a prominent family, a wealthy family, something like that will destroy it, destroy your fortune, destroy your life, and cause nothing but chaos and mayhem for you. So people hide that stuff. Oops. Get oh, it keeps jumping on me. Hold on. You'd have to leave the country. Too many mouths. Exactly, or so exactly. So it's better just to keep it hush hush. Hey, okay, Jay. I knew a girl that was on birth control and it threw off her hormones. She grew a beard. That is actually a very common side effect. Yes. So this was more or less proof that she was indeed a werewolf. That's kind of where I'm looking at it, Joanne. I really am. I really think that her mom was probably trying to deny it. Probably knew her father was, and the fact that Emily had a lot of her father's traits and the odd stuff going on, she probably was going somewhere along the lines of, "Holy crap! Don't let this be. If I don't think about it, I don't acknowledge it. It's not going to be true, and it's going to be fine. I could cover this up. Blah blah blah." And it just didn't happen. Well, I can. I've got one hand, and I'm trying to do multiple stuff. And you want what? You're still curled up and laying on my. That's my beard. Yeah. Well, get up there. So I'm a firm believer that she was. And I mean, there can always be more research to come into it. I mean, we're only seeing this one side of it. And this and I mean, we've seen two sides of it, but it's only one person on the other side talking about it, which very well could be somebody trying to make a name for themselves so they can get their 15 seconds of fame, and that's why they did what they did. Or she's trying to cover something up. That'd be another reason there too. I mean, I don't know what you guys feel on that, but that's what I think. I really think that Denise is either trying to get clickbait for it, or is trying to get her 15 seconds, or trying to cover it up. I watched a podcast today, and it showed a dog man in LBL and showed it walking. It was woodwalkers. No kidding. Hey Wyatt, how's it going? I don't think doctors don't know. Because they found out and they asked some history and they related me as black man. Oh, I can't put that up or so because of what's in there, but yeah, I get that. I get that. My female Chachula Reina, which means princess in Spanish, is doing a very good impression of a very neat. Yeah. This one all weekend has been literally up my butt. I can't go nowhere without this one. Anytime I plop my fat butt in my fat guy flat comfy chair, she's right there and wanting to go to sleep. Not bad. I actually am a little bit more awake today. Um, do you seriously got to do? You got what you want. You want it up there. Well, you need to get your meower fix. Are you a mutant? Are you a werecat? Stubborn thing. Go to their podcast from today's show, and it was very that's cool. Yeah, this one's definitely impersonating a Klingon all weekend. I mean, I come in here, it's in here. I go to my chair, it's in my chair. If I go to the kitchen, it's trying to go in the kitchen where it's I shoo him out. And this is what she does. She gets on me and just curls up and sleeps. That's what she wants to do. And if I don't pick her up, she does that meow 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 thing. Yeah. Thought I seen something again. Yeah. Well, okay. There you go. Little little thing. Anybody want a kitten? I've got plenty of kittens. I need to find them homes. I can't afford this many cats. This many animals. Period. I got 3 dogs and a gazillion cats right now. But I don't know. This Diane Denise, I really think she's grasping at straws. What do you guys think on her? Um, I'll read her evidence and let want to hear what you guys think. So, uh, the Southeastern Institute of Paranormal Research has done some looking into the story and report on their website. The forum monitor, only identified as Denise, filed a report on the legend claiming that it was false. Her post is on the website. In her report, she says there is no evidence to corroborate that Emily Isabella Burt was a werewolf. She and her group have adopted the cemetery in which Emily was is buried, and has pictures on their website of the location. Her report mentions that the memorial marker to her mentions that she was well known and well liked in her community. Certainly not some certainly not things said about someone who was a werewolf of sorts. Denise reports that the newspaper reports from the time claim that the attacks were a result of a rabid wild animal, nothing more. She also mentions that the Paris trip was to see relatives and friends there, not to see a doctor who treated lycanthropy. Where's her evidence? Hey, surreal. That's what I want to know. Where is her evidence? All I'm hearing is hearsay. Let's see what if I missed anything here. I have 4 cats, and one of them likes to sharpen her claws on my soft rifle. Oh no, yeah, she's either a Klingon or a Dingleberry, depending on her mood. I get that a lot, bro. Uh, yes, yes. I agree. I think, to me, I think she's trying to get her 15 seconds of fame. She's like, instead of jumping on the bandwagon, I'm going to make up my own theory. Here you guys go. I would believe her case more if she had evidence to back it up. The tombstone do- doesn't support anything. Everybody always puts something kind on a tombstone. So that is out of the question. Newspapers, no worries, Bounty. Newspapers themselves, we know that people hide stuff and will mislead things in newspapers to hide things. So using the newspaper articles is not proof that this has not happened. That is like her two key evidences right there, and I could shoot them down all day long because they're not credible. There's nothing credible about her evidence. So if she wasn't a werewolf and Denise is on something on that, I want to see actual proof that she wasn't. Absolutely, Bounty. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm not really on her bandwagon because she hasn't given me anything to suggest that what she's. I'm not saying that her theory's wrong. I'm just saying that she needs more evidence. I can't jump on that bandwagon with the zero evidence she provides. It's always a possibility that she's correct. Don't get me wrong, but for now, I can't hop on that. You're trying to have them together, but the male of the group picks and the little one. Oh, yeah, baby Kitty and Aurora that way. The two older cats. Um, but I mean, that's how I feel about this subject, and I could be wrong, folks. I'm just giving you what I read out of this on my when I dive into it on a investigative point of view. This is what I'm seeing on it. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, Surreal, because I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia for a while, and I was talking about the swamps and the eeriness that happens in the swamp. But yeah, Emily Isabella Burt was known as the Georgia Werewolf. She was down around Macon and the Macon area and stuff like that, and I believe she was a werewolf. But yeah, I was talking earlier about the swamps and the mysteries that's in the swamps. There's a lot of high strangeness in those swamps. Yeah, yeah. I just, I mean, that's my opinion. It really is my opinion. Picking history in a book has been proven some false. Yep, chosen history. It's the age, the oddities, the lure that holds more weight than moment. Exactly. And by the sounds of this, I mean, it sounds like even the community really believes she was a werewolf. They're just probably hiding it. Absolutely, Don. Absolutely. It's all just say so. Absolutely. I can just go off the evidence provided, and the evidence that is more credible is the one that suggests that she is. Yes, all of them, but he does have ballsies. Small, but there, yeah. If you think about it, we have high strangeness all around. We do. We honestly do, Roxanne. We absolutely 100% do. I've been down in them swamps in Georgia, and that is, man. If you ain't never experienced it, I mean, well, Surreal, you can back it up. Jessica's still in the chat; she can back it up. You get down in them swamps, man. That's another beast all in its own. I mean, the heaviness, the strange energy. Oh, thank you, Joanne. The strange energy. You can feel dark magic in parts of them swamps like crazy. Them swamps, man. That's a whole nother beast on its own. But I mean, like I said, I mean, Surreal and Jessica, you can comment. You guys would know just probably better than I do. I was only there for 2 years before I got transferred out after my unit got disbanded, and I got transferred up to Fort Riley, Kansas. But I mean, down even Alabama, when I was reclassing in Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama, there was a lot of weirdness down in that area. Been there once many years ago. It feel eerie and it can swallow one. Oh, absolutely. Yes, yeah, that is. I'm glad you. That is actually a very perfect way of describing it. It will swallow you up. Did you click the like button too? Um, 100%. I mean, and that's the. I mean, I've been in some areas all over this world, and I can tell you there's some weirdness to it all over. Very few places are like swamps. I just don't know what it is. I love this crazy world. So many questions, adventures to wonder and ponder. The endless possibilities. Then things we can somewhat prove leads to who knows what is at the end of the adventure. Absolutely, yeah. No, just yuck it up, yuck it up. So I don't know, man, but I can tell you, I mean, hoodoo and voodoo is still a very, very prominent practice in them areas. Yeah, Roxanne. How many Germans did it take to make that German chocolate cake? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, I better not say that. I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. I better not say that. I mean, I'm already got my fan slapped once by YouTube. I don't need to say that part next. All I can say is that, like a certain industry that has gold, I think that's probably the best way to put it. Man, there seems to be people missing in Lake Lanier all the freaking time. Like, I mean, all the time. You're always hearing about somebody missing in Lake Lanier. Oh man. I'll have to be careful on typing it too. Let's see if I can do it this way. Well, you'll just have to piece it together. My grandmother could make a German chocolate cake from scratch, and I have never tasted anything like her. Oh God, I missed that stuff. Yeah, that is a good question, Roxanne. I mean, it almost seems like there would have to be. There, I mean, it really does seem like there'd have to be. But yeah, I'll let you guys piece out what I said, but that's the company I was talking about because they're known for unusualness in their food. We'll leave it at that. Oh man, yes, yes, yes. I remember making homemade chocolate chip ice cream cookies. I used to love to do that with my mom and my grandmother, my great grandmother. We'd make homemade chocolate chip cookies and then make homemade ice cream and make sandwiches out of them. That's awesome, actually. You realize how many times that happened? I've got a tin in my kitchen that has been family recipes that's been passed down for the last 200 years. That's awesome, there. That's really awesome. Special cheese, huh? Absolutely, they are. They really are. But yeah, well, we got to that a little quicker than I thought. You guys got any questions on Emily Burt? I've made apple pie from scratch one time that turned out, and my mom was a help. Honestly, my mom made the pie crust because I couldn't figure it out. So let me rephrase that. Mom did the hard part of making it from scratch, and it turned out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Hey, Poncho. No worries. No worries, man. Um, but yeah, any questions on this? Yeah, on Emily Burt? I'll try to answer the best I can. Yeah, that is. I hear that a lot. I really do, and it wouldn't surprise me because I can tell you, Table Rock Lake is haunted, and Lake Lanier's a man-made lake, so it would not surprise me at all that it's haunted as well. When I lost my house and was homeless not long ago, I lost a lot of a lot of stuff I've had for years, recipes, pictures. Also, oh man, yeah, I hate hearing that. Like a whip Lanier. Oh, Lake Lanier. There is a there was a sacred chocolate drink at one time, maybe still is. Yeah. Hey Jeff. Oh, Scottish coons. Oh my God, Scottish coons. Scoons. Ooh, thank you so much. Videos all over YouTube about it. I just looked it up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is. I made a baked Alaska cake, and it came out perfectly. I can't bake to save my life, y'all. Man, I could cook just about anything. One of my favorite things to do is I'll smoke rice on a charcoal grill. If you guys have never smoked rice on a charcoal grill, y'all are missing out. But I'm not a rice fan. I like flavored rice, so I always get flavored rice and make it. And what I'll do is I'll brown the rice in the kitchen. Then I take it and put the water in it and put it out on the grill, and I'll finish it on the grill and get all that smoke in it. Oh my god, yeah, I've heard that, but I don't think I've ever had one. Y'all, if you're wanting to send me anything via mail, that is my PO box. You can send it to me there, Arlie. um, Yep, that is. Yep. Oh, Tang, not Tank. I think you meant Tank. I really think you meant Tank, Freaky. I really do. But yes, smoked meatloaf is really good too. I've cooked meatloaf on the grill. I've cooked just about everything on the grill. I've baked on the grill. Now I didn't make everything up. I had it made and then I put it on the grill. All with chitty, dude, it's awesome. It is. It's good. But I'm going to try to get with Bigfoot Dwarf and see if he wants to come on next Sunday if he's able to. Because I haven't done a Bigfoot episode in a while, so I'd love to get him on there to talk Bigfoot. So that may be what I'm looking at for next Sunday. We'll have to see what happens. Um, I need to get with Caleb when you're feeling up to it sometime and get you on and talk about the dark arts of the military. Oh yeah. Oh dude, yes. Oh man, I got a Dutch oven. Ain't nothing like biscuits cooked in a Dutch oven on a campfire, man. Woo wee. That's some good eating right there. Um, but yeah, I need to get with you sometime, Caleb, and when you're feeling up to it, and get you on, and we'll do a show on the dark arts of the military, and what you can talk about, and then what I could talk about, because it's all kind of tied together, anyways. We'll just do a dark arts period show, and try to get William on there too with us, and just kind of cover that a little bit. I love cooking cast iron. Cast iron is my favorite way to cook. And that's one thing I like about wintertime. I'll fire up the wood stove and I'll put my Dutch oven up on the wood stove and cook my chili. That's about the only time I eat chilies in the wintertime because I like it cooked in my Dutch oven on the wood stove. I have never heard of that. I, I've never heard of that. I love making cream chipped beef. I've never heard of that. Yes. I don't think I've heard of that one either. All right, it sounds good, man. I don't want to push you. Just whenever you feel up to it, we'll plan a Sunday for doing it, bro. But I want to cover multiple different things, but it's all on the dark arts side of it. And I know there's stuff you can't share. There's a lot of stuff I can't. There's stuff I do share, even though I probably shouldn't. But the way I was treated, I don't care. Shit on shingle, definitely love shit on shingle. Redneck Yacht Club. Oh yeah, yeah, hands down. Oh yeah, that's the only way to have it. Only way to have that gravy when it comes on the biscuits, Jeff. Yep, hands down. I caught your show the other day too. Sorry I wasn't in the comments a whole lot because I was kind of busy, but I got in kind of late. That was a pretty good show you guys did. I have not tried pumpkin stew. I have not. I like pumpkin cookies and pumpkin pie and pumpkin cake and pumpkin spice stuff. Oh, you're welcome, man. It was. Sorry, I mean, you guys had a long ass show too. I mean, that was awesome. Um, but I mean, when I was able to catch into it, I did. I think I did comment once or twice, but I was so busy doing stuff. I was listening to it while I was work or doing some work, but it was a good show. Oh, that's right. It was, you normally time I go to bed, so I was getting a bunch of stuff done before I went to bed. That's what it was. Oh, I don't know if I know that one. You know, I'm not big on French dip, but there's a restaurant in Springfield that has prime rib French dip called Jim's Steakhouse. Oh my god, that stuff is so good. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with that at all. That was a good one. I mean, you guys went a little over 3 hours if I remember correctly. I've had that. I have had that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if there's nothing going on a Saturday, I'll pull a longer show. But I try not to step on other people's toe. That's why I try to normally keep mine for about 2 hours. And 2 hours seems to be a pretty good length that people want to watch. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Knockwurst. Yeah. Knackwurst. I've heard of it. I don't have it. You know, kind of like haggis. I've had haggis before. I've had it where haggis was really good, and I've had more times than not haggis. It was just like, bleh. Oops, I lost my spot. Oh, sorry guys, that came out quick. Oh, that came at me quick. Uh, oh, okay. Oops, where did I go? Right there. It is, especially when you do it like me. Most of my shows I do by myself, so I've really got to try to stretch it out. I've heard of that. Yeah, I've never been able to handle chitlins. It's big in Scotland too. They're very big in Scotland. In fact, haggis is a huge part of Scottish cuisine. Yep, I've heard of puffins, but I think I've had one before, but I can't remember. It's been a while. But you know what? Something I find interesting about werewolves. In some cultures, werewolves are classified as vampires. I've done research on vampires and werewolves, and I've literally seen cultures that classify a werewolf as a type of vampire. Also, they classify types of zombies as vampires as well. I always thought that was interesting. I would have never put the two together, but in some cultures, they do that. Oh, I can't do head cheese. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. All blood pudding. I ain't had that in a coon's age. He said, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I know you got a lot of stuff pass on, bro. What's sad was is you was in the same area as I was at the same time. You were just in a different department. You were pretty much telling us grunts what to do. I love egg drop soup. I don't know how to make it. Mom's made it once, but I love it. If blood pudding is done right, it is good. But people think that they can make it and they messed it up. I've had blood pudding over in it might have been Ireland. I can't remember. I had it in some country, and man, it was freaking phenomenal. And I've had it over here in the states, and it's just like, bleh. um, but yeah, it's I love going to other countries and testing out other cultures, not only beliefs but their food, their cuisine. I've laid a lot of weird stuff out there. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm lucky, Joanne, because I had some biscuits that I made earlier today, um, and, and I had the last of my jelly. That's pretty much what I've eaten, and that was before I went live. Oh God, is there really truly a good MRE? Come on, let's be real, bro. God, I've ate so many of them nasty things. Literally, the term "shitting bricks" comes from the military because if you eat too many MREs and you don't take that softener gum or the hot sauce that's in it, you literally shit bricks, and it rips your starfish when you're trying to get it out. And I mean, but oh God, if I had to choose one, I I don't know. I just God, I've ate so many of those things. Um, Definitely not ham hock. Ham hock is one of the worst. And stroganoff was the beef patty wasn't bad. I mean, if I had to choose one, if I remember right, beef patty came with the jalapeno cheddar cheese, and that's the reason why I liked it, and always mixed it together. Um, the cheese was it was good with the jalapeno. I always liked the jalapeno cheese. You had to do a lot of wheeling and dealing to get that jalapeno cheese. But I can't say there's my favorite one that I would eat, but if I had no other choice, give me the beef patty. Eating strawberries now. Yeah. Um, you like to cook with your meat. There's a lot of preserves in it, but yeah, you can. That oh, I can't stand Tabasco sauce. That is so freaking nasty. I always use that for homemade tear gas bombs. Um, Let me rephrase that. Homemade tear gas improvised devices. I use Louisiana hot sauce and Creole seasoning. That's what I used with my MREs to make them tolerable. But um, yeah, it's man. There's so many preservatives, and Tabasco sauce is nasty. Um, it's basically a package full of preservatives, and that's why you literally shit bricks. If you eat them too many of them in a row without something in between them, you literally shit bricks. And that's why you got the gum in there and that Tabasco sauce. But I can't stand Tabasco. That's the most nastiest tasting thing out there. But it does make really good tear gas improvised devices. I never could do pickles pig feet. Nope. Sweet tarts. Yeah, I like sweet tarts. No, I mean seriously, you take an MRE heater, you cut off the top, pour the powder into a Gatorade bottle, take Tabasco sauce, dump it in there, Close the lid, shake it up real good, and it expands and lets out a tear gas. And it's extremely effective. In the Marine, and when we get bored, we have what was called platoon wars. And that's where we literally fought other platoons. So our favorite thing was to do was to make about 15, 20 of them homemade tear gas improvised devices and throw them into the other platoon's quarters. Hold the door shut until they were coughing their brains out. Open the doors to start clocking them as they come out the doors. Oh yeah. Oh god, the powdered eggs. Oh god. Oh, that is a gassy combination right there. I tell you, up in that area, the best Mexican restaurant, if you want authentic Mexican restaurants in St. Joe, a place called Barbosas. It is the shiz nizzle. Heck yeah. Yeah, but it's. I've had calamari. Yes, I've had calamari. That's why I always carried a jar of Louisiana hot sauce. So I would save the Tabasco sauce for the improvised devices and use the Louisiana hot sauce because I love the flavor of the Louisiana hot sauce. Look for a little excitement. Snap in a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that movie, Fistful of Dollars. Oh, I love that movie. Calamari. Now, unless you count snake venom, does snake venom count? Because it's live when I shot it into my mouth and ate it. um, yeah, you can actually get a crap ton of protein from snake venom as long as you don't have like an ulcer in your stomach or sores on your gums. The venom will not affect you. You can literally drink snake venom, and it's nothing but pure protein. It is one survival trick that we did in Marine Corps survival training. Was partake of snake venom. But if you got an ulcer or you got like loose teeth or a sore on your gums, that snake venom gets in there, you're going to get your butt whooped. And the absolute very best sake. Sake is the Japanese version of moonshine. Sake, oh, sake. The absolute very best sake you can get is called habu sake. Habu is the extremely venomous snake, and you take the head of a habu and you let it soak in that sake for a while and get that venom in with that sake. Oh my god, that stuff is jack your world up. It is so good though. Wow. Melissa was decided to cook a hot pepper on the stove because it was cold. Oh, that's awesome. I have had candied scorpions, but I've not had it in a casserole. Boom, boom, sake, sake. Love you a long time. Ah, I'm telling you, man, habu sake. Oh my gosh, that stuff is killer. $5, anything I want? Anything you want. I've never ate there. I do like the Hilltop, in Springfield, and it's an Italian buffet. It's pretty good. Dude, yes. Yes. I'm sure Caleb probably can vouch for me on that. I'm not sure if Caleb will spend some time over in Japan, but my God, we used to trade Papasan MREs for Habusaki. And so we'd purposely go like 3 meals out of a week without eating, um, just so we can go back and trade Papasan for some Habusaki. Anything you want. Oh, 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 I know what you're talking about now. Yes. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't never ate there though. Yeah. Um, in Japan they would have like you remember them candies you can get two for $1? They'd have like shrooms, hash, weed, and stuff like that in them little baggies you can get at the store. Traditionally, it is. Traditionally, it is served warm. Yes. When I was in Kyushu, Japan, we got done doing our training for. Oh, I forgot what we called it. We had a big party going on, and we had actually a traditional sake barrel breaking ceremony. Oh my God, I got tore up from the floor up, and I was standing in the back of the 5 tons, going heading back to base, peeing out of the back of 5 tons. There was a female motor pool driver in the 5 ton behind me. She was laughing because I was like, "I'm sorry, man. I just let it flow." That sounds interesting, Tanya. ASB Bridge. Oh God. Yeah, we were traveling roads there in Kyushu, and oh my God, I had to pee so bad. I was making beer pyramids, and the Japanese soldiers were coming up taking the pictures in front of my beer pyramids because any rednecks done is drinking, and you get entertainment by your empty cans. You make what's called a beer pyramid. You literally make a pyramid out of empty beer cans. And man, I had like this massively huge beer pyramid. So the Japanese soldiers were coming over taking pictures with it. Oh, it's so funny. But I did, man. I was sitting in the back of that 5 ton. Anybody in the military knows anything about the old school 5 tons, man, they will bounce your liver loose. And they was sitting there bouncing, and I had to pee. I like had to pee like really, really, really bad. So I just walked to the back of the 5 ton, and I looked at the driver in the next truck, and I mean she's a beautiful little blonde. And I waved at her, and I just kind of shrugged, and I whipped it out and went to peeing, and she just kind of laughed, and she went, that was I had to pee. I was I was really tore up from the floor up too on that one. Oh God, it was oh God, dude, I was trashed. I was completely trashed. That was back in my drinking days. That was back before the Marine Corps put me in rehab. Yeah, I was a bad enough alcoholic that the Marine Corps put me in rehab, which was probably the best thing that could ever happen to me. Yeah. I don't know. God, that sounds so familiar. Where have I heard that term? But yeah. Have you ever drank that snake venom for survival, Caleb? Yeah, they are. Not gonna tell you how I know. People it's to this day would make one's hair stand. Oh God, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. That dude, I love pineapple. So I mean, that sounds amazing. But no, man, we I've had some good times, man. I used to okay, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. It's good stuff. And it's really good stuff. And then you mix it with that habu, man. Woo! Or you mix it with that sake. Woo. Oh man. So man, I mean I did. I used to be a really, really bad alcoholic. And I mean it's pretty damn bad when the Marine Corps puts you in rehab. I lost my sergeant promotion. I lost my SEER school spot. Um, I was put on alcohol probation for a year. I was in rehab for like 3 or 4 months. I was in rehab, and to this day, I still get the shakes. And they stop a little bit if I have like a drink. Sometimes too, the shaking will stop. But I was the worst case. That doctor, he said he's been doing that job for 32 years. And I was the worst case he'd ever seen come through them doors. He goes, "Your body literally runs off alcohol. You drink so much." And then ever since I went to rehab, I wasn't really good at PT, but it got a lot worse. My motivation went down. Everything went to crap. My body just it ran off alcohol. Or in the ground. I'm about last ones. Oh man. Ooh. Yeah. God, Everclear. Oh my God. You want something to jack your world up? Take them red hots, let them soak in Everclear for a year. Not telling you how I know. I've had some of them. I'm like, it's okay. Man, I was so bad that I even impressed the Aussies while I was over in Australia. That's how bad I was. Yeah, yeah, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why when people try to improve themselves, I support them. Because I've been there. I've been through anger management. I've been through alcohol rehab. Because I wasn't always when Cheryl died. Um, I've said this before. When Cheryl died, I was a very dark person. My kids being born um, is what helped me to grow up and realize that I don't want my kids living the lifestyle that I had lived up to that point. Um, I was always itching for a fight. Um, I was always finding an excuse to let out my anger on something. I mean, the Marine Corps helped me channel that quite a bit, but it still wasn't perfect. And but them putting me through alcohol rehab saved my life. And then my oldest daughter being born is really what made me woke up and go, I can't be this person anymore. I have to be better. I cannot let my kids growing up thinking this is okay. So that's really what got me into um, I was on antidepressants and antipsychotics for a long time, and they actually made me worse. What helped me to get over it and control it, which I cannot partake of anymore, was the broccoli. And that really helped me with and I got restless brain syndrome. My brain don't shut down, so it's hard for me to sleep. And sleep meds either don't work or work too good. So the broccoli helped with my pain. It helped with calming my brain down, and it kept me mellow. I'm a big supporter of broccoli, just because personal experiences. So when somebody's trying to better themselves, you're damn right I'm going to support them because I've been there. I know what that's like. And I know how hard it is. It's actually easy, but what makes it so hard is your body's so conditioned to believe that this is normal. It's hard for you to accept it and it's hard for you to overcome it. But I've lived that. I've lived that life. I know how it is, and I'll support anybody that's trying to better themselves. Oh man. Yeah. Ants are good. Chocolate covered ants and chocolate covered grasshoppers is really good. Oh, they're so good eating though. They're so good eating. Yes, that right there. Okay, Jay. I'm a big supporter of it. I mean, the mead and moonshine is like my two biggest ones. There you go. I mean, yeah. I mean, absolutely, Caleb. I know what that means. And there, I mean, so I'm not going to tell you guys um, that it don't flare up from time to time. It was both of those things were a huge, huge, huge part of my life. It literally was my essence for so long. Um, I still, to this day, in 2001 is when I went into rehab, and 2005 is when I started my anger management stuff. And to this day, I still feel myself. Some days it's hard. Some days it's really, 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 really hard to fight it off, but you can do it. And I believe in anybody that's trying to better themselves in that way. I really do because you can do it, and I have faith in you. So keep it up. You can always do the gummies or the liquid, Joanne. I I quit in July of 2017 to go to work where I'm at now, and I have not partaken since. Not that I don't want it because of everything that happens, but I want a job and I want a retirement more than I want that. Yeah. I mean, I know that feeling. I mean, it was Cheryl's death that turned me um, to a very dark person, and then I go to war, and people don't realize you don't come back the same. If you've been through the shit that some of us has been through, seen the things that we've seen, done the things that we've done, made the decisions that we had to make, you do not return the same person. That person that went there is no longer exist. You come back as somebody else, and it's an everyday fight to get just a sliver of that humanity that you was before. It's a daily fight for that. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had chocolate covered ants. They're really good. Yeah, if I can get the thing light up, cover them in chocolate. They don't move. Did you? Hey, man, I'm proud of you. Okay, Jay, I'm extremely proud of you. That is an amazing accomplishment there, and you should be damn proud of yourself for that. That is awesome. I am very proud of you. It's hard. I mean, yeah, absolutely, Tanya, because it is hard. I've not had a gummies. I've had homemade gummies. Well, no, that was alcohol gummies. I don't think so. But I mean, let me be real with you guys for a second, okay? I'm trying to think how to approach this in a good way. We all struggle with something. Now, some of our struggles are harder than others, but that doesn't make the other person's struggle any less. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of willpower, and a lot of wanting to change in order to do it. People can change. The first step on doing it is you have to choose to do it. If you do not choose to do it, it will not work. You have to have the want, the need, and the desire to do it. And I encourage any of you that is suffering from any kind of mental ailment or substance abuse, if you're wanting help, the first step is you have to accept that you want it. And then you got to try. And I support you guys in any way that you can. I can give you tools for your toolbox to help you through it, but you have to be the one that uses that tool to make it successful. But I encourage you guys to do it, and I'll support you 100%. corn, had broccoli all the time. I raised around it. That's how I learned to count before. Oh, wow. Wow. It calms my head when I count. I heard a lot when, yeah. Um, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Guano? Yeah, I know what guano is. Yeah, it's poop. I do it when I can't handle the pain and more when I need sleep. Usually about 4 or 5 days. Okay, yeah, no, I mean I get it. Yeah, yes, it is. Urso guano is bat poop. I still chew tobacco, so I can't say nothing but that. But yeah, I chewed tobacco in high school. Red Man, Copenhagen. Oh God, that was my favorites. Yeah, Kodiak. A daily exercise routine helped me to quit everything. That's awesome. I tried to quit once, and then when I made the choice to let my mom drown so I could save the kids, I couldn't deal with that decision. Luckily, that didn't happen um, at that time. But the fact that I had to make that decision affected me so bad. I went back to tobacco, and I haven't been able to quit. It has been a lot harder to do it. 100 or so. But no, seriously. I mean, you guys want help trying to figure something like that? Let me know. I'll help you the best I can. Yep. Yep. You do. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was broccoli. That stuff didn't work for me and made it worse. Um, I was making some choices that I would not be here talking to you today if I kept on with those meds. So I took myself off of it, and partaked of um, the broccoli, and that's what helped me. Exactly. I mean, I've fallen. I ain't going to tell you that I didn't fall off the bandwagon or time or two during my recovery because I did. Um, I've learned now how to control um, my alcoholic beverage intake. Um, I've learned how to control the anger, control the thoughts, but it's a process and it's something you have to fight every single day. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. I haven't seen that one in a while. Oh my gosh, we're over the 2 hour mark. Oh wow. I need to pull something up. I didn't even realize what time it was. Got that up. Um, it is. It is machete. It is always there. Yeah. It is. You know, if I give up on somebody, that's because they have repeatedly failed and they've proven to me that they do not want to fix themselves. They're looking for a pity party. And there's plenty of people like that out there. And that is the people that I've stepped back and said, you got to figure it out on your own. That microdose, does it help with? So the doctors have tried to hit me with PTSD for several years. I have no regrets of what I did. My regrets is I survived when so many did not. And that is something that I fight every single day on what I could have done better to help more people come home. So I don't claim PTSD. Survivor's guilt, yeah, I get that. And especially considering that everybody and their brother labels everything as PTSD nowadays. It's lost its meaning. That's another reason why I'm not a fan of PTSD. Not to saying people don't have it, but too many people claim it, and there's too many people to claim it that shouldn't be on it. I've seen that firsthand too. That's because they want an easy paycheck. I've heard a lot of good things about microdosing. I have never myself have partaked in microdosing, but there is a lot of study coming out on it. I don't know. I mean, you have to check with a doctor. That'd probably be the best way to describe it. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of where I was. So, I mean, best thing to do is work with a doctor on that. I'm no doctor. I can just tell you what I've experienced. I have to say that, by the way. Hey, Kevin, that's good. You have to be that way, Roxanne. Yeah, that is very true. Okay, that is very very true. Another thing that helps me is doing this stuff, doing my research, writing my books, going out and into the field and doing my investigations. That helps me out a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that or so. I've never, like I said, I've never used it for that purpose, so I cannot speak on it. But the research that I've seen suggests that very much. I'm trying not to pop that up on the screen for certain reason. That's why I had to catch myself because I've already got my hand slapped once. Um, oh, cool, Caleb. Yeah, I can't partake in anything like that for the next at least 9 years. If everything works out right, I can retire early at 55 in 9 years. And that's kind of what I'm working at right now. Yeah. There you go. I mean, yeah, that would be, I would love to partake in something like that, Caleb. So we're already 20 minutes past. You guys got any more questions before we get ready to? I don't like labels. He wanted to push me. Yeah, true, and I don't trust. Yeah, 100%. And what I was truly blessed because the doctor I had at the time, which he's now retired, is the same doctor that saved my life. Um, he knew me and he knew how I was. And hey, Carl. Um, and he was very accepting of my decisions and what I was doing, and he was very supportive. And he gave me his research knowledge, which supported what I was doing. Yeah. So I was very fortunate on that. But because of what's happened is the reason why I gotta say certain things that I say. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank you for coming in. This Emily Isabella Burt, the Georgia Werewolf, was a very interesting study. Once again, Roxanne, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. Um, uh, I I really enjoyed it. I've heard a little bit here and there about it, and actually looking into the history of it was very entertaining, very knowledgeable stuff. Brings a whole new light to things and a couple theories that I find very interesting. So, to all my new subscribers, to my OGs, thank you guys very much. You guys are awesome. You guys make this happen. You guys are great. Thank you everyone who caught my first members only live on the channel Q&A. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to do a channel Q&A for the members only at least once a month. Guys, see how things are going with the show. You guys gave me some good information. Um, Tanya and Roxanne brought up some very good ideas that I want to try to put into works. The second Thursdays in the month, we're looking at doing probably an hour long live on called the book club, where we look at my books, we read a couple of chapters, and we spend about an hour going over that chapter. And then the fourth Thursday of the month, probably for about another hour, we're going to have what's called a writer's workshop. So as soon as I can get a chance to get all that stuff in the works, we'll get that up and going. So that's a couple future lives to be looking forward to. And so we got that coming up. So I look forward to hearing you guys on that. And I got to come up with some more ideas for the members only. I'm still working on that as well. But it was real fun. I only did a live for about an hour for the members only. So that's something to look forward to if you're a members only on my YouTube channel. Is once a month I'm going to well, basically we'll have a round table together and kind of talk about the show, how you guys think it's going, some ideas for the show in the future. Because I don't do this for me, I do this for you. So your guys' comments, your guys' input is very valuable to me, and you guys are kind enough to pay for a members only subscription. So my mind is, why not pick your guys' brains? We may not take every idea, but some ideas are good, and we're going to take and use them. And the only way we're going to know is if we talk it out together. So that is one of the perks of a members only on my YouTube. Um, what am I forgetting? Am I forgetting something? I am stuck on. I've been working on my Western Cody Barrett Start of a Legend. Uh, but I use actual places that per that time frame, and the only place I could find takes place about 20 or 30 years after the time that I'm writing in. So I don't want to add that into the book. So I've got to get with the I got to get a hold of that Dallas County historical book again and look things up. Try to get a hold of the historical society. It's hard to get a hold of them to get correct information so I can put it in the book. So Cody Barrett's on the shelf for right now again, and I'm back to working on Brotherhood of the Wolf and Axe, which is a Dogman series that I'm working on that takes place in modern time here in Missouri, and it is a prequel to the saga of Grimsons. So it's another prequel to the saga of Grimsons, which those of you who's been following me a while, the saga of Grimsons is the first books that I ever published. So that is there. So that's some stuff we got going on in the future. So this is a poem I wrote. I read it at the end of this show every Sunday, and it goes like this: There comes a time when a warrior falls. They leave this realm and will be missed by all. Raise a glass and keep them in your heart. They have kept this realm safe and performed their part. Look to your veterans, your active duty, your EMTs in the blue line. What they do or have done must walk that fine line. When the demon comes calling on your soul, they will be there to save us all. Hold them in your prayers, for they are deserving. They all have served or are serving. Um, to everybody that's struggling out there, my prayer, my hearts go out to you, my thoughts go out to you. Keep strong. You got a lot to prove, you a lot to do with this world, and we all love you. We're all family in one way or manner here. Let's build this. Let's build this bizarre and unknown universe and make it great. And Roxanne, thank you so much for moderating for me. Uh, you're awesome. I'm really thankful for you. So thank you so much. You help make things flow very easily here, and I appreciate that. So until next week, everybody, peace, love, and blessings to you all, and to all the fathers out there, all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. Much love to you guys.